There exist a multitude of different magical worlds created by simple humans. These worlds allow you to be whatever your heart desires, in the most wonderful multiverse known as Dungeons and Dragons. I am Caden, and together we'll be building a custom character for you and your game. Millions of people across the globe and counting are trying to escape from our reality and let loose in the ideas they have in very silly or serious ways. Many people want to play Dungeons and Dragons, but don't quite know how to build a basic character yet. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a few years now, and just like many people, I had to learn to create a character to live through in this fantastic game. Today I'll be explaining how to create your own character from the ground up, going over your dice, stats, class, and race. Now I'll be using a character that I've been playing for quite a while, and has been giving me many adventures throughout the time. He's a lizard folk artificer. We'll be getting more into that later. For now, we'll build his stats, and soon your best friend, your dice, and you'll learn to love the collecting them as well, so good luck with that. Now, every character is different, everyone has different strengths, weaknesses, but the best players know how to overcome those and have fun with each other. In order to begin rolling for our stats, we first know our stats. There are 6 different stats. There are Strength, Dexterity, Dex for short, Constitution, Con, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma. Each one of these make up your character. Now these could and should be leveled as you level. However, we're creating a base level 1 character, so there's no need to worry about that currently. How we'll roll for the number scores for our stats is a simple method known as roll 4 6-sided die, d6 for short, and drop the lowest number you get. We'll be doing this 6 times to gain our scores. Each score comes with a different modifier, which will be added or subtracted from any dice rolls that you make with that specific stat in mind. Those numbers will be found on page 13 of your player's handbook. There will also be 2 more scores to learn, Health and Armor class, or AC for short. Both are calculated differently based on the class and race you play. Now that the base stat numbers will not be used until we learn what class and race we're going to play. Your dice and stats are the most complex thing to learn when starting out, but let us figure out where to place those stats. There are many classes to choose from, and those are all found in the player's handbook, but for now we'll be using my personal favorite, the Artificer class, which can be found in actually the Eberron module, which you don't need. This is my personal favorite, as they're the masters of unlocking magic and everyday items with their supreme inventories. This is a caster class, meaning they use magic for most things. All casters have a caster stat to use. Artificers use intelligence as their casting stat, so I'll put it as our highest score there. Afterwards we'll do Con to give us more health in the long run, and then Dex, which gives us a higher armor class so we're not hit. Please consult your Dungeon Master for calculating these numbers based on the class and race you play. Your Dungeon Master is there to build a world for your preference, whether it be acting, exploring, investigating, fighting, optimization, or storytelling. So please use them in help to any way with your characters. Artificers are my personal favorite to play, as they can create magical objects to best suit them and have a bunch of fun subclasses. Some classes are more direct paths your characters take down a class tree, but let us look at a simpler idea. One that has really spiced things up for you, your party, and your Dungeon Master, and that is race. The biggest driving force in how you be playing your character and whatever creation you're trying to do. There are quite a few races to choose from for beginners, and all beginners should stay in the classes that are in the player's handbook. Each race is different and should be played differently. However, for this discussion, I'll be using an extremely interesting race to play, more so if your Dungeon Master is fun with your player's backstory. The race is Lizard Folk, which can be located on page 204 in the Monster Manual. Lizard Folk are primitive reptilian humanoids that lurk in the swamps and jungles of our world. This race can be extremely creative, giving a lot of freedom for you and your Dungeon Master to work with in your backstory. The player's handbook is great for creating a character, but the backstory can really get its help through Xanathar's Guide Through Everything on page 61. You can use the tables and advice in this section to complete a well-developed backstory and biography for your character. They're more than capable of crafting something that's not too extreme for a level 1, and pretty creative to get with, so keep going with that for your Dungeon Master. You will be living with them after all. Character creation may have seemed like a bit of a daunting task since we had to figure out dice, fun classes to play, and what race to complement or inspire your chosen class. But it comes down much easier as you move forward. So if you're one of the many people that wanted to play Dungeons & Dragons but didn't know how to make a character, now you can create as many different characters as you want, and annoy your Dungeon Master while you're at it. And on that note, I think it's time to go annoy our Dungeon Masters and derail as many wacky ideas as they have, so there's that.